Hello everybody, Aaron here, and welcome to the State of the Aaronverse Address, May 2017 edition. Okay, so I'm just going to take care of the elephant that's in the room. For those of you who didn't notice, for about a day and a half I was completely off Facebook. And the reason why is basically somebody whose name I will not mention he doesn't deserve it. Became the latest in a long line of people who intentionally triggered what exactly is wrong in my head for their own personal amusement. And this one was particularly devastating to me because he was literally one of the two first friends I ever made in this coming to Canada in 1988. So yeah, I came back, blocked his ass without him noticing. Frankly, I don't care if he ever does notice. Basically went right back to work from a social media point of view. Again, and secondly, for those of you who don't know, for the last few months, I've completely overhauled my diet and what stuff I'm putting in my body to relieve the various things that are wrong with me. And despite a few hiccups in the road, including the ones made by this guy, my hands were still shook. I still had a crying fit here or there, but because there was no vomiting or nosebleeds, I consider the experiment of the last several months to be a complete triumph, and I have all of you on my Facebook who may or may not be watching this video to thank for it. So, thank you very much, guys. And now it's time for me to complicate my life for the next decade. Stories are coming. Lots of them. I've been in various states of pre-production of various writing things for the last little bit in secret, hoping to God that I could make this video so that it begins to come out publicly. The general idea of these stories... Oh, spoiler alert for those of you who have never actually read my books or had anything to do with them. You're going to have a couple plot details spoiled to you. I have no choice. Sorry. Actually, you know what? I'm not sorry. The general idea of these is people finding various bits and pieces and various stories of mine scattered throughout Aaron World Prime and compiling them for release because guess what? The version of me on Aaron World Prime is technically dead. So, without further ado, let's announce the next 4 writing projects. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. 4 of them. Number 1, I call this Libertarian Punks. Sorry guys, I had to write this all down on the script because I speak faster than I think unless I write it down. Okay, Libertarian Punks, a collection of 27 short stories, with most of them dealing with the various types of libertarianism throughout the world. For those of you who don't know me, I recently made the plunge to libertarianism because the last U.S. presidential election, I didn't like Hillary Clinton's private email server, and I didn't, and still don't, like Trump's virtually everything. I liked almost everything Gary Johnson said. So, yay. Libertarian Punks is the only project where you guys will be involved as characters. I love writing you guys, don't get me wrong. It's just, after the last almost 5 years now of writing a detective story, a clock punk story involving a band trying to make a bid for an Olympic Games, a Western that takes place in Russia, a mixed poker tournament gone terribly awry, a collection of 14 short stories, and the Endgate series, I kind of need to go in other directions. So, Libertarian Punks is kind of the sequel to the Endgate series and dealing with the fallout of the Endgate series. Every other project I have on the go will basically just be spin-offs that the only connections to the Aaronverse itself will possibly be me. So the second compilation is called Origins of Diablo Swing Orchestra. For those of you who don't know me, Diablo Swing Orchestra is one of my favorite bands of all time. I love the combination of big band swing music meets heavy metal with a soprano opera singer, although they've recently changed front women, so that could change. And a very healthy respect for world music, particularly the Latin American music scene. They have a bit of a biography on their Wikipedia page or their Facebook page or wherever you want to look them up. I think it should be expanded to a full novel. I would like to be the one who does it because they're in the finishing touches of their 4th album right now. If they don't want a fan to do this for them, I'll scrap it. As I stated to Diablo Swing via a private message, I don't write for financial gain. I write as therapy. So I'm not making a dime off their name. I wish to pay tribute to them. But having said that, if they don't want me to do this, that project will be scrapped completely with complete respect and love to those guys. Compilation number 3, Quantum Clone Leap. 2 of my all-time favorite TV shows, Quantum Leap and Orphan Black, will be merged together for one 22-episode season. This is basically just glorified fanfic that I'm going to be writing for my own amusement. Again, I'm not going to do that for therapy, so NBC and BBC America and the Space Channel technically can't sue me. And the 4th compilation is a different... I call it a different kind of 1994. A lot of people my age and of various other ages were very disenfranchised by Major League Baseball because of the 1994 player strike. I'm going to finish the season. I'm literally going to, based on my own research and interpretation and imagination, I'm going to finish the 1994 season for everybody. So, yeah. I actually went back and forth on this one. There's 3 years in Major League Baseball I would like to change. 1919 because I wish the Black Sox scandal had never happened. 1955 because I wish either the Washington Senators or the Pittsburgh Pirates had drafted this Cuban pitching prospect that they were looking at with big speed and a nasty curveball named Fidel Castro. And 1994. I went with 1994 because 1994 is in my lifetime and the information I would need to do the research is more readily available. Because encyclopedias barely existed. The internet didn't exist at all in 1955, much less 1919, and encyclopedias and even newspapers are hard to find from those eras, especially 1919. So, I'm not going to focus on one compilation at a time and then write the next one. Like, I'm not going to go all Libertarian Punks and then all Diablo Swing Orchestra and then all Quantum Clone Leap and then all A Different Kind of 1984. I would get bored and the writing would just get tedious for me. You know, like a certain chapter in the Endgate series that by the time I was finished and after all the edits and post-production was over 82,000 words long. For those of you who aren't inclined to write or even read a lot of books, 40,000 words is by definition a novel in most awards and facets of life. So one chapter was literally 2 novels. Well, 2 small novels or one small to medium-sized one. You get my point. Anyways, the order of my writing will be as follows. I'm going to do like 1 short story from Libertarian Punks, 1 chapter for Diablo Swing Orchestra, if they permit me and I haven't scrapped the project, 1 episode of Quantum Clone Leap, and then 1 chapter, or maybe I'll even call it 1 inning of baseball. As I've stated, Libertarian Punks is the one that's going to have you guys as characters. Casting begins 12:01 a.m. tomorrow, which will be May 7th in Eastern Standard Time. So, you might want to check your Facebook events in a few hours.